Welcome, welcome. I was looking back and I was thinking about the days when I used to go to Reggae Sunsplash. And I remember especially Sunsplash 1982 for some reason. Reggae Sunsplash was started in 1978 by a group of businessmen called, they call themselves Synergy. And in 1979 is when Bob Marley performed at Sunsplash, and really that's when it took off and people started to book all holidays, in time to be in Jamaica for Sunsplash, and they'd have to book their rooms way in advance because it became very big, internationally known and highly acclaimed, and people would be rushing to Montego Bay to come to Sunsplash, right? So Bob performed in 1979, which was the second Sunsplash. And then sadly, Bob died in 1981. And so Sunsplash 1981 was a beautiful tribute to Bob Marley. And 1982 is the year that I'm going to tell you most about now. And people, I remember arriving at Jarret Park. That's where it was in 1982. And we parked like on a hill and we're walking down to the entranceway to get into the park. And the excitement was in the air. Everybody was just anticipating. They'd been looking forward to Sunsplash, and now they were here, and this was the first night, and you could smell the food cooking in the stalls in the park, and it was like the air was like electric. And I remember now we get down to the gate to get into Jarret Park, and I figured I had tickets in hand. I thought you're just gonna hand your ticket to somebody and they let you in the park. Well, everybody was like kind of bottlenecking into this entranceway to the park, and it had this big gate. And when they opened the gate, it was like we were so tightly packed that we went into the park like in a wave. I remember just going up in the air, right? And my feet were not even touching the ground, and then everything moved forward. And when you land, you're in the park, looking around, and you're in it. So nobody even got the tickets. Like, it was crazy. It was just so many people. So it was a little scary, but exciting once you got in. And when you got in, like, it was just such an awesome feeling. Like, the stage was brightly lit, and it had a beautiful backdrop. It was really high off the ground and very professionally lit. And I just remember the crowd. Like, it was just people from every walk of life. They had a lot of foreigners, of course, were there, and you had like hippies. And even I remember some Japanese dreads, and of course local, like Jamaican people like crazy were there. And we were just all together anticipating what was about to happen. And meanwhile the music had already started. You can hear the live music. And I remember the back of the park, along the back and along one side were these rows and rows of stalls where they sold like t-shirts with Reggae Sunsplash, or hats, or any kind of souvenirs. And of course they had food and drinks and like manish water and curry goat and patty, and they had everything there. It was amazing. And of course they prepared the food right through the night, and the lineup of the musicians was amazing too, right? And I'm talking now, guys, this is 40 years ago I'm talking about, like 40 years. It doesn't feel like that to me, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Like, I can smell the smells and just feel the feels. It was just so great. And the place, of course, was a cloud of smoke, and friends and strangers would mix and mingle in the crowd together. And then you would see people, like, you see, as the hours start to pass now and it get really late, people bring out them reggae bed. The reggae bed would be anything from like a big piece of cardboard that they carried under their arm and brought there because they knew this was going to be a thing. Or they bring out like a feed bag, animal feed. Or they bring out blanket, towel, you name it. Some people just take off them jacket because it get cold in the early morning hours, and them just lay it out and just take a little nap, because the music went right through the night into daylight, because of course it's so many acts. And of course they save the best acts for the last. So nobody don't want to leave and miss out after they come in there to go miss out the best. So the best musicians would play like after the sun come up in the morning. Not like when it's sun hot really, but you know, the sun has risen and you can now see everybody clearly, and everybody has been in the park together the whole night. So this music would go on for days. And I remember that 1982, it started on a Wednesday. It was August the 4th, I remember. And it was on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and everybody ended up leaving on the Sunday, which was the 8th. So you don't go through the day and the night. You leave on the early morning after the last act, and you can go to the beach, you can go back somewhere and get a little rest and freshen up and come back again, and then you go through the night again. So you do that 4 times. And in the early morning, I remember the stalls would have like coffee. So you'd see people walking around the park, sipping on a cup of coffee, music playing, right? Some of them sleep and wake up and just stand up and just start to dance same time again. Or some of them don't sleep at all, and it's just everybody to me, the best part of Sunsplash was that early morning vibe, when everybody has just been in the park together for the whole night, and the sun come up over the stage, and the music is amazing because it's the best of the best, and everybody is just, it was like a family vibe. It really was a lovely feeling. And I remember like acts like Yellow Man, that was definitely an early morning act, Bunny Wailer, Steel Pulse. The first night was Big Youth, Stevie Wonder, Third World, Toots and the Maytals, and a whole heap of other great acts, right? And everybody just dressed comfortable, wearing like Sunsplash t-shirts, or them put on ice green and gold, or just comfortable. But of course, you know, you always have, you know, the turn-up outfit in the crowd. So it was just fun. It was a great people watching vibe and great fun. Everybody was having a good time. So I remember driving home on the Sunday morning, bright sunshine, exhausted, but thinking, you know what, I'm really tired, but it was worth it. And here I am 40 years later telling you the story, so I think it was worth it, you know. And I went to a couple of the Sunsplashes. I can't even remember going to one in 1992 in Portmore. And I never so really loved that as a location for Sunsplash as much as the MoBay spots, but it was still great music. Like I remember they had, who were some of them? Barrington Levy, John Holt, Aswad. Like there were some really great acts. There was a group I really liked called Blue Rhythm Band. And I can't remember all of them, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I don't know, the feeling of being among so many people who just come together for the sole purpose of having a good time, listening to music, being outside under the stars, and then the open air and the sun hot the next day. And it was just incredible. Like it was fantastic. I remember going to Sumfest after and thinking, it's nice, but it's just not Sunsplash, you know? And I'm happy to hear that Sunsplash is coming back, or has come back. I need to look into that. But, you know, for anybody who hasn't gone, give it a shot. It's really lots of fun. And if you went back in the day like me, and you have memories and fun times that you want to share, please drop a comment and tell us about it, because it's always fun to read those, right? And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share this with your friends. And I've just realized this is my 28th video, so if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen those, please go back and check them out and tell me what you think in the comments. And one love. See you on the next video.